I really think, if we're talking about from a personal perspective, it is absolutely the voter's choice. And it's one that each voter needs to take into account as they plan on casting their ballot this election. In North Carolina, as Director Bell has pointed out, we have 3 valid and secure methods of voting. And that is, absentee by mail, which is no excuse, early voting, or election day voting. There seems to be a lot of confusion about voting all by mail. I agree with the president and with others that an all-mail election is especially ripe for fraud and logistical problems, especially when the state has not done it before, which Director Bell did point out. There's states that have been doing it 20 years that are still having trouble doing it. And, we do not want to go down that path right now. But voting absentee by mail, that's perfectly acceptable. There are procedural safeguards in place to ensure that the integrity of those votes is intact. It requires folks to fill out a form confirming their address, personal information, and requiring unique form of ID, such as the last 4 of their social or their driver's license number. Again, I just think that's a personal decision of the voter. I think the state has made the right decision in not moving to an all-mail system, but it's a personal decision of the voter if they want to cast their ballot by absentee, by mail, they want to early vote, or they want to vote on election day. Just encourage them to choose whatever method is best for them and what they feel most comfortable with. I do not pretend to be an expert on cybersecurity, but just generally speaking, I think there's 3 very important things to consider with the security of any election, and that's having some form of backup of the system, maintaining a consistent process and proper training of your poll workers without changing it too much at the last minute, obviously making changes that are needed. And I also think that verifying the legitimacy and the identity of the voters is very important, which, you heard Representative Sain say we've had some disagreements in the past on that, but obviously 55% of North Carolinians agreed we should have a form of voter identification. And I think that that's important, even as we're looking at absentee votes, as we're looking at online absentee ballot requests, there needs to be some form of verification there. As I mentioned earlier, no excuse absentee with procedural safeguards. Additionally, the state board is launching for the first time ever, and I don't know if Director Bell really touched too much on it, but the online absentee ballot request portal, which wisely our legislators such as Representative Sain and Senator Ballard, who I think is going to be on here in a little bit, they included the requirement in there that be a secure website and that it track IP addresses of the folks who are submitting those requests. I think that's very important. Again, not a cybersecurity expert, but there has to be some method of tracking. It can't just be, you can't tweet a request for your absentee ballot. I don't think that's going to be an appropriate method to track that. So, with the proper safeguards in place and proper training, which our state board's doing a good job of, this is going to be a safe election for folks to vote in. Obviously, there are going to be attacks. Those just have to be handled by the experts.